I'm Nancy Arstead, 22165 Beaumont Avenue. I do not want to be here tonight. Your city staff won't respond to my questions and emails, so I'm forced to come here. I don't enjoy this. Josh, you've said that issues requiring a response will be responded to by the next city council meeting. This applies to my issues. I want them responded to by your next city council meeting or before. Steve Wilson, some of my words tonight do not include you. You'll know which ones don't. If you can help me out, I would appreciate it. First, on February 18th, we submitted to you 2 formal ethics complaints involving actions at the city, your Director of Development, Deanna Coonan, and your Building Inspector, Brock Haskamp. That was a full month ago. I've asked for an estimated time frame for the city's investigation. I've received no answer. Will it take 60 days, 4 months, 2 years? You should be able to provide a time frame and a timeline. Tract sure had all of you hopping when they had a timeline for you to keep. If there's one thing you guys can do, I know it's to keep a timeline. Tract was even telling Tony when to schedule our very first public hearing in May. So I know you can make things happen quickly. We asked for an independent investigator, but we're told no. So the city is going to investigate the city, and your timeline is infinity. That does not work. You are not being transparent. I would like a simple time frame. You are already 1 month in. Next, I submitted my first data request on October 16th, 5 months ago. After back and forth over an $8,000 invoice and getting the State Data Practices Office involved, I finally received a partial batch of data on February 5th. I've asked when I can expect the remainder, and I just get the ever convenient, it's with the city attorney. I want a reasonable time frame from you. Delaying this data benefits the city. Everyone can see that. With the damaging information already uncovered, the ethics complaints, the 2 lawsuits filed against the city, not mentioning the current investigation by the state auditor regarding your My Town series problem, I know stalling probably seems like the best strategy. The problem is this data is our right. It belongs to the people. It isn't a favor you bestow, it's ours. After we uncovered misconduct with that first data batch, we submitted 6 smaller data requests. We know Deanna received a dozen or more internal emails from our coalition group forwarded to her by your building inspector using city devices, city time, and city resources. You guys had 2 spies working on your side all summer long. How many of you knew that? Offsetting the opposition. It's sickly unethical. Did she forward those emails to anybody here? Tract, other city officials? We want the data ASAP. We also see Tract sent Deanna and Tony a document literally labeled talking points for the Farmington PC and Town Council. Why would a developer be writing the script for our city officials? That's not collaboration, that's manipulation of the public process. Who are these talking points passed on to? All of you? I have very good reason to believe they were. I want that data. This is a severe breach of public trust. When a city receives and accepts and distributes messaging from a developer to use on their citizens, it's a fundamental betrayal of the city's role as a neutral decision maker and a public servant. What makes it even worse is that these were sent to Farmington before your residents even got their very first public hearing. So much for serving the people. I wonder, does Tract send talking points to every city they work with? Does Rosemont get theirs? Cannon Falls gets theirs? Do all the cities they work with get their talking points to use against their concerned citizens? Pretty handy. I heard Tract doesn't like being called predatory or slimy on Facebook. Feelings got hurt. So, We're also requesting emails from Joshua Hoyt and Brock Haskamp's personal email accounts. They use theirs for official business. Now that's public data. We want it. While we're on Josh Hoyt, Josh, I'm wondering why you were emailing Angie Craig's office the morning of your big vote, declaring the pending victory. Why was a federal office being looped in? Do any of you know? What is Angie Craig's involvement in this project? I think that needs to be looked into.
Your time's expired, Nancy.
You can have my 5 minutes.
You can come up. She gets her 5 minutes.
You can stand here. There's one data request I'd
Nancy,
like
your
in the
time
next
is
48 hours.
Nancy, your
I
time
want
is
the
expired.
exact.
Your time is expired.
I bet it is.
Where'd you leave off, Nancy?
Okay.
I don't have my glasses. Can you read that for me?
There's one data request I'd like in the next 48 hours. I want the exact same data link that was sent to a Star Tribune reporter. The data has already been gathered, reviewed, deemed public, redacted, and released by your attorney and released as public information. It's done and out there. I want it, and I'm getting no response from the city. I want all of it, all 5,000 pages, not a selective edit. Being reviewed by your attorney is not an answer, like I was told 2 weeks ago.
Nancy,
However,
your time is expired.
I can't read it. I'm asking her to read it for me. I don't have my glasses. I wasn't planning on doing
We're not going to sit here and hijack it to let one person go on for 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever they want.
See, we all know it's not being reviewed by your attorney. Like I was told 2 weeks ago, that's another shameful stall tactic. However, if that's the truth, then I'm assuming someone is pulling data out of there for my sake, which you should be doing. I want the link. Finally, I've asked a simple question to the city and I can't get a reply. This is not an accusation. I just want to know, are city staff and officials able to delete emails? Is that controlled by software or are we relying on an honor system at the city? Can someone empty their deleted folder and make messages permanently vanish? If so, how does that work with the integrity of data collection? And when public records are requested, does the city search deleted folders as part of standard procedure? These are honest questions by a lowly, so-called, not in my backyard group. I'm not getting any response from the city on how this is managed. We want basic human respect of an answer. Lynn Gorski said the city is taking our ethics complaints seriously. Great, then prove it. Show the people of Farmington what transparency actually looks like. Tell your staff to release the data now. Tell them it's a top priority. Stop stalling. Be the ethical leaders you promised to be when you ran for these positions. I would appreciate a written reply to these questions. I'll email you all to make it easy. Number 1, how are the deleted emails managed and tracked in the city of Farmington? Number 2, when can we expect a response on the 2 ethics complaints? What is the time frame? Number 3, what can we expect the full remainder of the October 19th data request? Number 4, when will we receive an already public data sent to the Star Tribune? We would like that by Wednesday, 48 hours from now. It should only take a minute of someone's time. If not in 48 hours, please provide a reason that will be shared. Number 5, when can we expect the 6 smaller data requests tied directly to our ethics complaints? Number 6, is Angie Craig involved or linked to the data center? We want real answers, not we're working on it.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
My name is Jeff Schottler. I live at 22420 Calico Court. None of us want to be here. None of you want to see us here. I've said the same thing from day one. I've never tried to say, stop it, don't build it, do it right. It's a year later. Nobody's put work on the changing what Tract demanded, what changing that Tract said is non-negotiable. Nick, you've acknowledged that this is gonna disrupt families and lives. You've acknowledged it. It's been put out in the data requests, okay? Holly, you sat there with Nick at my house. You guys acknowledged together without putting it on paper or saying that this is wrong. You've said, we're gonna call Tract and see what we can do. Steve, you've stood by what you said every time. We've got 3 people up here that didn't think that proposal was right, but it still got pushed through. What's the point of this? What's the point of having your neighbors sue you? Some of your residents sue you. Half of us wouldn't be here. They're all pissed off, I'm pissed off, but we wouldn't all be here if it was something we could live with. We can't even live with it. And you guys know that. It's causing problems all over the country. And you haven't gone back to Tract. They could have probably broke ground already. You guys could be getting what you want. We could still live our lives in our neighborhoods. I've lost 2 families now. The Peaches and the Folgers, direct result of this. They won't raise their kids around that. You're driving families and people that voted for you. Most of us voted for you guys to be here because we trust you and your leadership. You work so hard on everything else in this community. You work to be proud of it. That's all being clouded and shadowed by this one project, because at no point have you really gone to bat for us. You've gone to bat for Tract. Tract stood here and said they'd keep a site up for us to let us know the progression from day one. They guaranteed that site's not there. They guaranteed to be in correspondence with residents. They won't respond to none of us. I'm not threatening to sue Tract. There's no reason they shouldn't respond to me. I get if you're not gonna respond to me because I'm on a lawsuit. I want off that lawsuit. I don't want nothing to do with it. It costs more than my spring break vacation so far, just out of my pocket, what I've spent on this. I don't want to waste that time or that money. I don't want to have an ill feeling. I want to continue to promote the people that lead my city the way I always have. None of you have ever heard my name unless it was a thumbs up, or if I referred somebody to your companies before, or I said hi to you before. That's the only time you guys knew me. You're coming in next to homes, 250 feet away. It's not acceptable. Tract knows it's not acceptable. At least 3 of you up here have acknowledged that you know in your hearts it's not acceptable, but you're being told by them it's not negotiable. This again, I've said these same things over and over. It's your city. You get to make the rules on how they play the game. They don't need to make your rules. Tract walks away. There's 40 other companies lined up waiting for that parcel. So whether this lawsuit goes your way, do your work for your residents. Get Tract to work with you to give some livable space for people. If Tract walks away, set something for the next group that comes in. Be responsible, give some life to your people too. We're all gonna live here, we're gonna live for forever. You're hearing about it now, it's not even built. Once it's built, what do you think the outcome is? Do you not think you're gonna have at least one neighborhood full of people in here at every meeting talking about it? This doesn't need to be the future of Farmington. It can be part of the future. It doesn't need to be what we talk about for the next 5 years, that you put a data center on top of homes. Do it right. Take a look at what's going on in the other communities. Take a look at what Rosemont's doing. Talk to your local mayors. You have all these free resources, all these people that'll talk to you. There isn't a mayor, there isn't another council member, there isn't a house rep, there isn't a senator that has said that 250 feet is adequate. They won't back up some of the bills supported because they don't want to limit business coming to Minnesota, but there isn't a single one, ask them privately, that thinks 250 feet is adequate. It's not. At some point, take your time, take your opportunity. You've had a year. Go back to Tract. Tell them you're not comfortable. Your people aren't comfortable. Look at the holdup it's done. This should have been closed and ground broken already. So, that's all I got. Thank you.
My name is Mark Pearson. I live at 2475 225th Street West, just on the east side of the golf course. I know I've addressed you before, but I have a few other things to say that I probably haven't said before. That is, we, the residents of Countryside and Executive Estates, have been supporting the City of Farmington for many years. Some of us for 30, 40 years, some of us for a much shorter time than that. But we work in the food shelf, we worked on Mountain Dew Days, we support our local merchants and restaurants, we've participated in park and development activities, Dakota County Sportsman's Club, all kinds of things that I could name. They're just infinite. But we're not feeling the love back from you. The City of Farmington has done nothing to support our position. And I just have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask you directly. This is getting personal. It is personal. Mr. Mayor, if Dirk Ridey came to you and said, Mayor, the only place we can locate this cement factory that we really need is next door to your house, how would you react to that? Mr. Leon, if it was determined that the very best site for a new sewage lagoon was on Aiken Road across from your development, how would you react to that? Is it any wonder that we are fighting for our way of life? Is our ability to sleep at night, to have backyard barbecues in the summer? Who are you people, and what are you thinking? How would you ever expect to have a normal relationship with the township of Castle Rock? Fighting the way you are for every straw, every bit of damage that you can do to those of us who live out there. The children of Executive Estates deserve better, and the senior citizens of Countryside Estates deserve better. Do better.
Good evening. Terry Pearson, 2475 225th Street West. Many months ago, I had a letter published in the Sun newspaper. I'm going to read it. My family and I moved to Farmington area 37 years ago. We have supported Farmington businesses, paid school taxes, sent 3 children through the school district. I also worked for the school district for 27 years. Needless to say, we have deep roots in the community. Sadly, the City of Farmington is considering the rezoning of a property that is within 40 feet of my living room, the Fountain Valley Golf Course. Also up for rezoning is the farmland just south of the golf course, which is within 100 feet of my property. The question before the city involves rezoning these 2 properties to industrial. This is necessary to build a multi-acre technical campus. If Farmington wants to develop more tech businesses, they should, number 1, follow the existing comprehensive plan for residential and commercial development. Number 2, consider the rights of homeowners on all 3 sides of the golf course to a safe and healthy environment. They should not sandwich millions of square feet of buildings up to 80 feet high between all of the existing housing developments. Number 2, allow construction that would be incompatible with the surrounding developments. Give away our natural resources for a short-term cash infusion. And so the update I'd like to provide for you, this was many months ago. Follow the existing comprehensive plan? Nope. Consider the rights of the homeowners on all 3 sides? Nope. Forging ahead with sandwiching millions of square feet of building? Yep. Allow construction that would be incompatible with the surrounding developments? Yep. And give away natural resources for a short-term cash infusion. Thank you.